Hello again. Welcome back. You are listening to Unfiltered with D and G, as in Dan and George. I am George. This is my co-host Dan.
Absolutely. And thank you for tuning in to episode 16.
16.
Congrats, man.
All right, cheers.
That was quick. Not on.
That's that Fireball.
No, not Fireball at all.
Anyway,
Yeah, it didn't taste as good as I thought it would be.
we are here. If you've never listened to our podcast, we are here to give you some insight on how guys think, or at least how we think, what goes on in our minds, how we process the information, how we think the world works. So there might be some, misinformation here and there.
Well, that's the way we think. Our perceptions.
Our perception, but we try to talk about real subjects and real issues and give our real opinion about them. Anyway, Dan, what's our first topic?
Well, something locally that I saw, and it's been a big hit here in El Paso, which I think is kind of interesting because I'm not sure how I feel about it. I definitely want to check it out. I want to experience it, and this might be on one of my lists of something I want to do. It might be a monthly kind of thing.
Yes.
I got to experience it. I've seen it online. I know you're all anticipating, like, what's he fucking talking about?
And by the way, Dan, in the last episode, was talking about doing something new every month.
Every month and reporting it, my experience, the feeling of it. I want to learn something new. Totally excited about this one. This one is, maybe some of you folks have done this, but it's axe throwing. Fucking throwing an axe.
There's a bar that had just opened up, and it is axe. It's an axe throwing bar.
It's axe throwing. I've seen it online. It looks incredibly fun. All I know is in the past, I love playing darts. I've been hit by darts before. So my thought process is I'm going to lose a limb. In this someone's going to throw an axe. You're allowed to drink. It's BYOB, so you got to bring your own. But now I'm already thinking we're going to be drunk and throwing axes. Mm-hmm. That's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I've seen videos and Instagram, videos and Instagram posts of this axe throwing place, and it looks fun.
I can't wait. So I am totally signing us up. All and right. When we do this, and then we'll report the experience. And, I'm already, I know I'm going to love it because I love throwing things. I love trying to hit something. You go to the fair. You ever go to the fair?
Right.
You go to the carnival section and there's darts and balls.
They're all rigged.
Yeah, they're all rigged. But I love that shit. And, if you win prize, great. If not, it's that just the competitive nature in me where I want to win. I want to nail it. But I've never thrown an axe.
No,
have you?
Neither have I.
So there you go. That's going to be on my list. Might be my very first thing I'm going to do, my new attempt in doing something new. But I'm throwing axes. And I've seen a lot of positive feedback too.
No, it's just something different to do. Rather than just going to a regular bar and drinking and getting drunk.
Exactly. But you could only shoot pool and go bowling and shoot some darts or, that's it. That's all. What else you got?
Movies, darts, bowling, pool.
That's it.
Strip clubs.
There's strip clubs in this town?
And gambling.
And some gambling. What else do men do? What do manly men do?
Go to a bar and just drink. Go to a restaurant and eat.
And drink.
So we're trying to expand our entertainment options.
Absolutely. And we want to report on our findings. But I think the axe throwing is so unique. And I hope it's a good experience because I would love to promote it in a sense.
Sure. I'm going to predict right now.
We're going to love it.
We're going to be, what happens is we're going to be throwing axes.
That's the prediction. But do you predict one of us will lose a toe? Do we have to wear steel toe boots?
If we get drunk enough, maybe. And
there you go.
That'll okay.
Can you throw two at once? I'm gonna try it. Or do they only give you one axe?
If they let you.
I don't know. Is anybody even watching?
I have no idea. Is it like a firing range when there's a guy behind you going ready?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to check this one out.
All right.
So there's another thing in town. I'm gonna ask you if you've done it. It's called the iFly. Have you tried that thing yet?
Not the skydiving simulation.
Yes, I've never. Have you ever tried it before?
I've never tried it.
And there you go. That's also on my list. But I'm not even sure if it's even open anymore.
I drive by it every 2 weeks.
I never see anybody there.
It looks like it's built on a hill where the parking lot is underneath where you can't see it from the freeway. I feel
Why would you do that?
I feel like there is no one there that ever goes, but I've never been to the parking lot. But yes, let's put that on our list.
It's on my list for sure because I now want to experience it. I want to try something new, and I think we're gonna have to do that for sure.
I looked it up online. It's actually fairly affordable. I want to say it's $60. You get 5 sessions. The first 2 are lessons on how to do it.
Nice.
And the next 3 are you going in there for half an hour maybe. But it was affordable. It wasn't like, $300.
Yeah, they have to make it affordable to stay alive.
But it looked pretty interesting. And yes, we should do that.
Absolutely. And in today's episode, we're basically talking locally that, things I want to do that are local, obviously, and to experience, The other thing on my list, Top Golf. I've been there a couple times for food and drink, but I haven't golfed.
That gets expensive.
Yeah, but I want to check it out.
Last time I went, it cost me $200.
I definitely. Oh, there you go. But I want to pop some shots out. You know, the driving range attitude. I want to check it out. That's on my list as well. To report, you know, the experience when it first opened. It was totally insane. It was crazy. It was busy. I want to check it out now. You know, other thing. The little, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but it's the house where you
escape room.
The escape room. There you go. You tried it here locally?
I have.
The one here, was it good?
It's not bad.
Okay.
It was good. It's one of those, the escape rooms are one of those things where you should do it with friends.
Oh, can you imagine two groups of people and not getting along and not liking each other?
Or you just, it's, you know, you're arguing with someone, or you're just not interested in, because when I did it with friends, we were laughing, we were joking around, we had a good time. I don't think it'd be, of course, this is my, you know, kind of I don't know what you call it. It's my opinion. I don't know if this is true or not, but I don't think it'd be as entertaining with strangers.
Well, absolutely.
It could be if you get along with them.
Nah, you want to go with a group of friends and have a good time.
I want to say to have a guaranteed good time, you want to go with a group of friends.
Absolutely. So, nobody wants to do something that you're in a group of strangers. It's always uncomfortable.
But if you're in a group of strangers with hot chicks.
Yeah, but what are the chances of that? Right. Big titties and mysteries and how to get out.
Yeah.
But the point is, you want to go with a group of friends who are fun. Yeah. You know, you have a good time and you're all on the same page and you're having a good, that's what it's about, having a good time. But every time you have a group together or strangers together, it's uncomfortable.
Right.
Why would you want to be in that environment? You're trying to have a good time, and then you're with strangers. It's never fun.
Well, so to continue my statement, I've done it twice in my life. One was in Albuquerque, and by the way, right now we're here in El Paso, Texas.
Woohoo!
So I've done it here in El Paso, Texas.
Shout out.
I will. It's not one of those things where you want to keep doing it, kind of like a movie or playing pool or bowling. It's not one of those things.
It's a once in a lifetime.
It's more like if a group wants to go, if your workplace wants to go do something, then I'll do it with them. But it's not something I want to keep doing.
Sure. But how do these places stay in business?
Well, I think there's enough people.
Do you think so?
That want to go once or twice within a year.
Right.
That'll sustain them. And I think there's, like you said, there's 680 something.
Oh yeah. With all the Mexicans, there's 900,000.
There you go again. Okay.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, for a business to stay afloat, you would think you need repeat business constantly.
I think that's why there's only like one. I believe there's only one here in
that's
El Paso.
it.
Yeah. So that's the only.
There you go again. We're gonna have to get into that conversation. But there's a lot of things to do in this town. Absolutely. I want to go hunting. Well, I think we can go hunt coyote up here.
I don't think we can go hunting here.
I don't think you need a permit either.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
Is that not true?
We're gonna have to look somewhere else for that one.
I thought you can go hunting in the mesa.
Anyway, that's my take on the escape room. It's a one-time thing or a two-time thing. For me,
one or two time. Did they change the
there's
escape?
There's different rooms. The ones I went to, there were several different rooms that you can choose from, and they have several different themes. And you go around. There's the maker of the escape room has different way. There's a timer on it. There's records of that time. So there's.
Was it challenging?
The thing is, the challenge is to beat the record, or the challenge itself is just to get out before the time runs out. So you have a certain amount of time to be in there.
Did you survive?
Yeah, no, we never got out.
You died both times? Yeah, I'm not going with you, motherfucker.
Well, the group I was with was they were drinking and
were they fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
Anybody get naked?
No,
no,
it's not that kind of
not that kind of escape room. Well, I hear escape and I'm like, George's trying to rape a girl. Oh well. Yeah, that's awesome. No, but in all honesty, I want to experience everything my city has to offer.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And these are the items on my list, and that's just the beginning.
I never thought of iFly. I just drive by it, and they're like,
no, we're going to check it out. We're going to check it out. We're going to have a good time. I want to throw a party each time we go,
By the way,
I want to review.
iFly here is one of those skydiving simulation where there's a huge fan underneath you. They turn it on.
Absolutely.
And you start floating and all that stuff.
But I hear of all these other things El Paso has to offer. I mean, there's ghost town trips. Yeah, what's up with that?
I was supposed to go to that, too.
Well, I wasn't invited. Well, when's this happening?
It was a date.
When did the ghosts come out?
It was a date. Obviously,
do they only come out seasonal? What's up?
Yeah, they only come out on Halloween. Apparently.
That's it. Apparently, all the ghouls and goblins.
They have a schedule.
They have a schedule. When do we pay the most to get the most out of our ghosts?
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But you've heard about what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. I
want to go on a ghost one.
So I booked the trip, and then we decided we just didn't want to go. So the company was actually great about refunding our tickets. So we decided we didn't want to go, and they refunded my tickets. It was great. So maybe next Halloween we'll do that.
All right. Well, I'm definitely taking my girl. We're going to be going out. I want to go to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the actual massacre place. And in the 70s, it was a real thing, and I want to visit it and take some photos. That's something I want to do.
Okay, well that's different. I was just going to go down here in downtown El Paso and do the ghost tour.
Well, the ghost tour is for sure on my list.
I don't know what it's called, but I mean, like I said before in previous episodes, I don't believe in ghosts. But
Wow.
so
But I mean, I like visiting.
So to me, it's
natural.
not that appealing.
The ghost
But
tour?
yeah, the ghost tour. I mean,
I want to check it
quote
out.
unquote ghost tour. So I almost will go just to see what they say and to see
Sure.
how they position themselves to try to make these people get their money's worth. Like to
Yeah,
me,
it would be entertaining to see how they bullshit you, right?
Basically, it'd be a waste of money. But
Right.
it would be interesting to see how these tour guides operate, and
You wanna know the
and
gimmick.
make it entertaining. I do want.
yeah.
I want to see how they.
Right. You're about the gimmick. I'm about the experience. But seriously. All right. So you branch out of that. What else does the city have that we haven't experienced? All right. You've ever been on the tram here in town?
I have not been on.
There is a tram, apparently.
To what mountain?
Well, it's the hill. I don't know. The Trans Mountain Hill. I don't know. It's
I've never even seen it.
there is a tramway
not
here.
like
It's not like Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, where you could actually see
No,
it from
no.
the road.
I
and
forgot
say,
what
"Oh,
it's
there's
called,
the
like
tram."
whirlwind or wheel. So it's got a W in it.
Well, I've never seen
The
that.
point is, it's there. It's in existence. It's probably $4.95.
Okay, well, wait. Have you been on the one in Albuquerque?
Of course.
Well, then I guarantee you, it's the same thing.
Just shorter.
just shorter.
Well,
and
the one in Albuquerque is
less
the longest
tall.
in the world, I believe.
There you go.
Yeah,
once
we've already been on the best.
Yeah, so once you experience that, there's no need to go to a
All right. But what else does El Paso have to offer?
They've got museums downtown. And,
Do they? Are there any good museums you've been to?
well, I went to the art. I
You've
don't
seen
know.
art?
I don't know what it's called.
What kind of art was
I
it?
went to the art museum.
What type of art? Contemporary? Or
I don't even know.
Was it Mexican art?
I have.
Do they have a picture of a taco? What's going on? What do they have on there? What kind of art?
Anyway,
Black and whites?
What else do we have here? We've got.
Would you recommend the museum?
You know, when I came down here to El Paso, there's
About 5 years ago
there's
already.
an unbelievable amount of bars.
Oh, we have the number one per capita of bars in the country.
Really?
Yes, El Pasoans like to drink.
amazing.
I haven't had my first drink till I moved here.
It's amazing to me.
Well, you know the babies are born with fucking tequila in their bottles. I mean, that's their leche. I'm telling you. No, it is the truth. There's more bars here per capita than any other city in the nation.
It's amazing to me.
It's a fact. But when you think about it, there's not a real big city. There's not a metropolitan area. It's all retail and it's restaurants and bars. There's no real industry here. Did you even know of an industry?
No.
That's it. It's retail. It's
No, I can't think
a
of
retail
anything
town.
specific that this place is
nothing.
famous for.
Fort Bliss is the large occupancy, I guess, and it builds a lot. The contractors and military. But really, it's a retail town. It's a fucking janitor town. Which
What does that mean? What does that
well,
mean?
what that means is it's just low skill, low. It really is low education, low skilled. It's horrible. There's no real paying jobs here. There's no industry. It's not a tech community. I mean, what's there really? Like you say, I'm telling you, it's retail, it's bars, and it's
Well,
restaurants.
apparently, there's enough to sustain a Top Golf.
Well,
which
okay.
Top Golf and iFly.
If Fort Bliss wasn't here back in the day, this town wouldn't exist.
All right, maybe.
I'm telling
maybe
you.
so, maybe so.
It's that's what started it. Now it's big enough to sustain without Fort Bliss, I bet. But all the contractors that it's just that's how they're making their bread and butter. They're raping the military once again.
Okay.
It's big enough now, but give it in the '60s. If Fort Bliss wasn't here, this would not be the town that it is today. There's no way.
There's big concerts every once in a while.
Only because it's grown.
Right.
Yeah, but now it's a big city. I mean, you're hitting 700,000 people. It's not because of Fort Bliss, but look back 67 years ago, it wouldn't have survived without the military. The military is the contract. That created opportunities with jobs and other things. Otherwise, it'd just be a little. Look at all the towns. If you look at Texas around the borders, the border towns, they're not as big as El Paso. They don't have that military
Yeah, well,
base.
We're one of the bigger cities in Texas.
But because of Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss is the largest, one of the largest military bases, army base, land mass, and in the country.
Speaking of towns, when I was trekking, I would drive by. I went coast to coast when I was trekking,
Yeah.
and I would drive by these tiny towns where there's it's a
Coast
one
town.
gas station.
Yeah.
It's a one convenience store. Maybe they might have, I don't know, one restaurant. But it was amazing to me that there's all these little tiny towns here and there, pockets of little communities, and I was just surprised that people still live there. Like, why wouldn't they move to a bigger city where there's more opportunity, or just where there's more things? It wasn't like this small town had this huge factory and that's where everyone worked. I could understand that, but it was just nothing. It was just, I drove by, there was one gas station,
Sure.
one convenience store, one restaurant, maybe one bank, and then that's it. And then I drove through it, and then there was nothing after that. There was miles and miles of nothing between that town and the next town.
It is fucking amazing.
And
I've
there's
done the
so
same
many,
trips.
There's so many of those
and-
little towns.
Well, there's more of those little towns than there are big cities through America. America is little towns, and yet we focus on 7 or 8 big cities where all the people live. But when you think about it, this country is full of those little shithole towns.
Well,
it's amazing. Why don't they all move to L.A., Denver, New York, San Francisco?
Not just.
But it's amazing. I agree.
Those are the major cities.
How do they stay there?
Mentioned,
I agree.
But more so to the bigger cities, and not necessarily like El Paso, but let's say Lubbock. Lubbock is a smaller town than El Paso, but it's bigger than a one gas station town.
There's a documentary. It's called The Story of Us. It's basically the beginning of our country and how it developed and how it expanded and everything. It's fucking brilliant the way it's portrayed, and it's entertaining, and it's graphically beautiful. When you're watching it, and it's just amazing how our city has grown and how the rural areas became, and how people stay there. I agree. I drive through those cities and I'm like, how do fucking people stay in this shithole? They're shitholes. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I can't imagine living there.
But yeah, I can and I can't. The older I get, I can see why, because it's peaceful
Right,
and it's
that's
small,
true.
it's safe, it's this. But when you're a young, adult, you want to get out.
Well, even if it is,
Oh, man, it's
even if
unbelievable.
you're retiring, I would think you'd want something
Killing your
where
life.
You just want more of
I know.
like something to see or do rather than just see nothing.
Thank God for the internet for these people, so they
Well,
can shop online.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Or TV, just watch TV. I guess you really don't need anything if you just sit at home and watch
Yeah,
TV.
but it is impressive, and I know what you're saying. But you have to watch this documentary. It's a 10-part series. It's fantastic.
That reminds me of something. I was in a plane one time and I was looking down and it was taking off from El Paso. I was going to, I don't know where I was going. I was going to California. Anyway, I looked down I looked out the window and I looked down and I saw the city of El Paso, and it just dawned on me how amazing it is to see roads and the grid from an overhead view.
Sure.
The grid and houses and lights, and it's amazing to me that all these miles and miles of roads and wires and lights just exist, and like how it was done from one small town that spread out into a huge city, and now it has this infrastructure with electricity and water and telephone lines or whatever, houses and roads, just roads alone. Amazing.
Right.
When I was trekking, when I was driving down the highways at 60, 70 miles an hour, I was looking around, my window, and I look out there and it's just dirt and weeds and hills and rocks everywhere. It's amazing to me, like the people back then when they had horse carriages and stuff like that, and there were no roads. It's amazing to me that we've come this far.
Sure. In a short period of time, when you think about
really
it.
short period of time, I guess. But like to me, just driving, it made me appreciate that road that I was on going 60 miles an hour.
Sure. Through the whole country,
Through the whole country.
Interstate, right.
Yeah. When people back then were going through these,
oh my God,
they're going through dirt with a carriage and a horse in front of them, and it took them months to get to their destination.
Years
to get to their destination.
They started on the east to go to the west.
1 or 2 days you go from west coast to the east coast, and it's just amazing to me that all this stuff exists now.
Oh, I totally agree. What's amazing too, when you take that flight and you see the city limits, and then it's nothing for hundreds of miles.
Right.
But
just dirt.
Yeah, you really have to watch The Story of Us. It is fantastic. It is. I wish I had that when I was going through, junior high or whatever, because that's the history lesson of everything. It's how our whole country was created, and they really focus on every improvement and from technology to creation and famous people. You know what I mean? Like their contributions.
Right.
It's amazing. I really wish I had that documentary growing up, because I think and it's entertaining the way they present it. It's fantastic. But yeah, back in the 1800s, it could take 10 years for them to go from east to west. Half of them would get killed on the journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Indians or disease, weather, everything.
Just
unbelievable.
Shelter alone.
They freeze.
Yeah.
They starve to death.
Or food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we take for granted now that we can just stop.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
At a certain mile marker, and there'll be a rest stop or a gas station where you can just buy food or stay at a hotel.
You've been in Colorado many times. There's the Donner Pass. Have you heard of the Donner Pass?
That's the worst place for a trucker to be in the winter.
And do you know why it's called the Donner Pass?
Because someone named Donner died.
There was a caravan, the Donners, and they took that pass. Winter came. They got stuck. They were there way too long. They got trapped, and they basically ate each other.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
They starved to death. They ate each other, and it became the Donner Pass. But unbelievable story, and it's also in that The Story of Us. These segments in history, and it's fascinating. But again, it's just an amazing story, like how people.
Is it on Netflix?
I have it on DVD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I've seen it 7 or 8 times, and I want to watch it again. But you really, once you watch the first episode, you're hooked, and you just want to keep watching them. And then I don't know about you, but I forget about history and this and that, and then it just you're like, oh my god, I remember that, and then you get hooked.
Is it like a documentary style?
Fantastic.
Okay.
It's probably the best I've ever seen because it's entertaining. You're not bored by any means, and the way they show the progress, with imagery and just it's great. It's fantastic. I think it's actually the best one that has ever been created when it comes to the history of our country. It's really good, really good. I gotta lend that to you, but you gotta watch it.
Oh,
and
sounds great.
Just binge watch it one day, you'll be done with it. So it's 10 hours of your time. Watch a little porn in between. Yeah. But in all honesty, it is fantastic. It's it's very educational, but like I said, it's entertaining, and you literally learn everything you've ever learned in any textbook growing up. And you're like, oh my god, this 10-hour session of this documentary is fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, it's very good.
Sounds interesting.
Cheers, my brother.
All right. Yes, sir. So we were.
So good, man.
Let's
it's
move
amazing.
on to what do you got there?
Well, I saw an article, a little caption, which I know we're both gamblers and we enjoy the thrill of it all. But Jennifer Tilly just lost a huge hand, apparently, like an 80 grand hand. She had 4 tens, lost to a straight flush. Oh, it's so painful. Just the thought of it,
Right. Well, poker. I used to be a poker dealer for 7 years, and that's actually one of the reasons I came here in El Paso. They were going to start poker room. Anyway, my story or my opinion of poker throughout my how long has it been now? I'm 46. I think I started when I was 20.
Playing the game?
Yeah, so 26 years.
Yeah.
26 years off and on playing the game of poker. I have finally came to the conclusion that it is, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong.
Fun.
I think it teaches you a few things. It teaches you some, how to read people and how to be patient and how impatient you really are. It teaches you, it's supposedly teaches you money management. Well, there's certain things poker can teach you. There's certain life lessons, and it's, you might not necessarily, I don't think I can explain it until you've actually experienced it. I don't know if anyone can. It's one of those things where you actually have to do it to experience it and
to appreciate it.
There's the adrenaline rush, which what brings people back all the time. That's with any gambling.
It's gambling. I don't know. I don't know if it's the game, because you learn much more in chess than you would in poker.
Absolutely. So when it comes down to it, it is gambling. It's a little more skill than anything else. I mean, than any other gambling. There's a percentage. The percentage of skill involved in poker, I believe, is more in poker than any other gambling. I don't know what the percentage is.
And you feel like it's because you're playing against other players,
right? Absolutely.
As opposed to the house.
Well, right, exactly. And you have choices. You can you know when to fold them and when to hold them, but
you only risk what you put in.
You're doing the math, you're doing the decisions, you're doing the reading of people and all that. So all that is skill. The rest is luck. The rest is absolutely luck. It's if you catch your cards. So here's the thing:
I agree.
You can make money. And I believe the number, the last I heard, was only about 1% of poker players can really truly do it for a living.
Make a living,
right?
Yeah. So it's like any other field,
right? Well, the 99% of other people are just there. Part of it's recreational. Some of it is they think they know how they can play and beat the game, and sometimes they can win, but most of the times they lose.
51% of the time they're losing.
Right.
Let's just say more than half they're losing.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm a fairly decent player. I don't think I'm the best that I can be because I don't apply the math and all that to pot odds, to the odds of there's sometimes I just read someone and I don't think they have it and they're betting a certain amount and they bet more than the pot and it's not reasonable for you to call, but I know they're bluffing. So
because they raise too much. So you're like, they're trying to get you off of it.
You really have to get to know your players. Once you sit down on the table, you really have to get to know your players and how they play. And then certain tells are, and a tell is when someone has some kind of body language that you can quote unquote tell that they're lying or telling the truth.
But a good player can give you a false tell.
Absolutely.
That's what bothers me too, is when people talk.
And there's false tells. Yeah. Yes, so that's part of the process of playing poker. But anyway, to make a long story short, for me, it's not worth it to play poker anymore. I've tried it. I know I've learned that for me personally, I don't have the patience to sit there for hours. I think I have about a 3 to 4 hour time limit where I can play fairly well, and after that, everything just goes out the window because I'm not patient enough, or I'm not catching cards. Here's the thing: when you're winning, to win, everything has to line up. You have to get the cards. The flop or whatever it is on the poker table has to hit your cards to match. And then for you to make any money, someone else in the hand has to have
the second best
Someone
hand.
else, yeah, right, exactly. Someone else has to have a hand enough for them to stay in to call your bets so that you can make any money. Otherwise, you bet, everyone folds,
You make nothing.
you make nothing.
Right.
So all these things have to align, and then if you keep playing, you can't. You can't, or other people's luck can't be aligned with your bad luck.
Right. So you have the second best hand. You
Right.
know you're winning,
So
but they river the
right.
fucking winning hand.
Because you're not going to win.
out.
You're not going to win every time. So
Right.
once your heater, the what we call as a heater is our winning streak. Once your winning streak is over, now it's someone else's turn in that table to hit their winning streak.
And no matter how you play, they win.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No matter
I know.
how you play. And
Doesn't matter. They
After
just-
26 years of playing poker, no matter how well you play, no matter how good a game you're playing, if you're just not hitting the cards and
Sucks.
there's always going to be someone that's always second best.
Right.
And eventually you're
It's
going to
you.
be that person.
Right.
And it's just, you know what, the time I appreciated what poker has taught me, but I think it's the time, now is the time where
Well, I think you're at that age
I'm
where
at that age where I'm done.
but
I've learned what I can learn and I need to move on.
Right. And I think it all comes down when you hit a certain age, you get a certain wisdom, and it all comes down to this one little statement. You hate losing more than you love winning.
Yes.
Because I'm there too. Because
That's good.
I love to win, but I fucking hate losing. And that statement, it's so true to life. That's wisdom right there. Is when you can win 10 days in a row,
Oh, absolutely.
and it's the one loss, and it ruins everything.
Basically, let's say you win
It
$200 10 days in a row.
That's $2,000.
So that's $2,000.
and then the
and then-
11th, you lose $3,000.
Well, the 11th or the 12th or the 13th,
Eventually,
you
you'll
buy
lose.
in for 2 or 3, and then some of the sessions you'll buy in for 5. Eventually, you get down to the 2,000 that you've won, and you've spent it all because you're not
Sure.
going to win every time.
It's impossible.
It's
to win.
impossible to win every session. So eventually, you're going to lose the money that you put in.
Well, the money you won plus what
right,
you're gonna
plus,
put in.
exactly. And that's 99% of people.
Absolutely.
That's what happens to 99% of people because from what I have read in articles, truly only 1% can come out on top. But because they are at the top of this, what do you call it? The top of this profession, and I believe you can call it a profession. They're the Kobe Bryants, the Shaq O'Neals,
the one
of the game.
percenters.
Right?
The one
The
percenters of everything.
of everything. So they can make money, and they still lose. They can take the
Oh, yeah.
losses, but they've won enough money that they can take the losses
and continue a
and
profession.
continue profession.
Yeah.
But even them, once they get on the top of their game, like Daniel Negreanu, he has businesses on the side. He has, I believe, he's part owner of a poker online
book
and-
deals. He's on all these
exactly.
TV shows with
Absolutely.
Poker After Dark and
Yes,
whatever. Yeah,
that's what sustains him.
right.
And
I agree on that.
Even if you go on YouTube, you can see even he loses. I mean,
All the time I see them
there's a
lose.
couple of YouTube videos of him losing huge pots because he made the wrong call. When
Or even if it was the right call. Well, yeah, there are times where he thinks the other person doesn't have their
I
hand,
mean,
and
he had a
bets
good
in.
hand. There's
Right,
one
but not the
video
best
when
hand.
he had a full house. Someone else had a larger full house.
Right.
I mean,
But you can't fold it.
You can't fold
You just can't do it.
Folding a full house
You got to call.
is so hard.
Call or bet. But
Even
you-
the best player like Daniel Negreanu
he knows.
still has to make mistakes like that.
Right.
And he's the 1%.
Right.
And he's playing for huge money. But
But he's also worth millions
yeah,
of dollars.
people like that are the other 99% make that mistake all the time. But they don't have the businesses to back him. They don't
Right.
have
They don't have the funds.
sponsorships
Right.
to back
Right. That's why when you see them
people-
playing poker, sponsorship
Right,
all over the
absolutely.
place.
Like patches.
Yeah, everywhere. Because
labels
those
all
people
over.
are paying their entrance fees or the
Absolutely.
money. Yeah, they're not even risking their own money.
Right.
Sickening.
Yeah. So
Stick
anyway,
to roulette.
that's
Better
for,
game.
oh my god, roulette.
Well, you know what I like about roulette? I'm going to always go back to it. You know, the thing is, you can make a couple of wagers and leave and not feel guilty because you're playing against the house. When you're playing poker, you sit down, you win a hand, you're not going to get up and leave. You're just not going to do it.
You're not going to get up and leave in roulette either.
Well, that's a discipline issue. But what I'm saying is,
That's
if you
the same
if
thing.
you sat down, be honest now, you sit down, you're at a poker game. The very first hand, you take down a big score. You're good. You're big. You want to leave. You don't do it
No.
in that game. You don't do it because you want to give people almost the opportunity to win their money back, kind of.
Well, not even that.
but you just don't do it. It's the etiquette.
Okay, so not even that, because now that you have this more money than you came in with, now you think to yourself, now I'm just gonna play tight and
Sure.
play the right cards and just wait till I
Right.
get pocket aces, and then I'll just keep making more money and making more money.
Okay.
But of course, it doesn't happen. But your money
Right.
starts to get you're
You're going down. You want to
you're-
win it back.
Yeah, exactly. Your money's bleeding out,
But
because you're calling hands that are good, but you're not getting the flops.
But would you feel comfortable? You sit down, you take down $1,000 pot. Do you just get up and leave? Would you feel comfortable at a table? You
No,
sit down, win a
no,
pot, and
no,
leave.
no.
No, but in roulette, you can do that. That's what I like about the
Well,
game.
you can in theory, but do you?
Hey, we ain't talking about what I do. We're talking about what you can and cannot do.
No,
but I'm just saying, when you're sitting with players, you feel it's like an etiquette thing.
Yeah, you
don't go to a house game. You go somewhere, you play card, you hit a big
Right.
hand, and go, peace out, I'm out.
Some people can do it, but the majority of people,
They're never invited back.
They don't do it because it just feels
It's an etiquette.
guilty.
It's
right?
an etiquette thing.
So you tell yourself, I'll just sit here for an hour,
But then you
not
play
doing anything.
Right, you don't bet any, but
Right.
then you get cards and you get bored. And oh, these are good cards. I gotta play these.
You get pocket aces,
Right.
or pocket kings.
You're gonna play them.
You're gonna play them, and then they're gonna get beat.
Right.
And then you're gonna go all in.
Right, and then you're
gonna
down.
lose all your money.
Right,
And
but-
then you're gonna buy in for more. And then you're gonna lose more money than what you came in.
I'm 1,000% in. I'm a lifetime gambler roulette because I think I could beat the game. My buddy here tells me, you're crazy. He knows it's not. The thing is, you got 5-6 spins in roulette and you got to walk. You got to hit it and quit it and get out. I don't necessarily do that because, again, I enjoy the game. It's fun. Building my bankroll, I'm going back. But, the philosophy is $50, $100 a day, get the fuck out. I know I can do it. I'm going to prove this theory in the next podcast.
He's been saying this for 20-something years.
Yeah, but I don't have the discipline generally.
Never happened.
Generally, I want to win big. I'm not happy with the $100 win, but once I discipline myself,
That's another thing.
it's all about discipline.
Everyone builds. It's kind of like alcohol.
Sure.
As you continue to gamble, your tolerance for the money you win keeps getting higher. So let's say you start out with the $1 poker tables. So you win $50 here and there, and you're like, oh my god, I just won $50 today. You leave, you come back, I'm gonna win $50 again, and you think to your head,
it's a drug addiction.
I can just win $50 every day. So you go there, then you start to think, oh, I drove all the way here, I found a parking spot, I found a great parking spot, I go in, you win $50 right away, but you don't leave because you took all this time to go down here and you win $50 within 5-10 minutes. You're not gonna leave. So now you start hitting $100 and then you leave, and then it just keeps repeating. That cycle keeps repeating. You win 100 here, you win 100 there. Now your tolerance is up to 100. Now you're not happy coming back and winning just 50 anymore. Now you have to win 100, and then later on, a couple months later, you win 200. Now your tolerance is up to 200, and now you can't leave unless you win 200.
Right.
And like we said before, you can't win every day, so you keep buying in until you try to win that 200, and it's just never going to happen.
But if you can discipline yourself and win the 50 to 100 range every day, that's about $37,000 a year.
Here's the thing. If you can discipline yourself to spend, let's say you buy in for $100, you want to win 50. Okay. You come back, you win $200. So you come back and you put down $100. And once you lose that $100, then you leave.
To not risk a lot.
That's another way
part of the
disciplining
discipline.
yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So you leave every time you set an amount that you're willing to lose that day, which should be a consistent amount. Like 100. Let's say you just bring $100 every day. You want to win 50. So you bring 100, you bring 100, you bring 100, you win 50, you win 50, you win 50.
At some point you lose $1,000 and it all balances out.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you win 50 each day. So that's 50, 50, 50. So that's $150. You come on Thursday, you bring $100, you lose that $100, you leave. Now you're technically only up 50 for that week.
Right.
So you come the next day, you say, okay, today I just want to win 50. But in your head, you really just lost $100 for this week already.
Right. So you want to get it back.
So you want to get it back. So now you bring $100, you lose that $100. So now for that whole week, you're actually down $50.
Yeah.
So now you're down $50. So now you bring in like $300 or $400. You try to
right. You have a bad session, you lose all of that.
You win all that. Now you're down $350. Right. And believe me, that's going to happen. There's no getting around that.
It happens more frequently than it doesn't happen. I just still think I can win the game.
And he's talking about roulette. I'm talking about poker, which you can.
Poker is so unpredictable. That's unpredictable because you're playing against retards. They don't know how to play. They're in cahoots. There's so much collusion at the tables. People are fucking in and on together. Yeah, it's true.
That's not true.
It's true. It's been known. It's been stated in the books. My point is,
he's just bitter about roulette.
No, roulette's a great game. I play it. I win every time. In the beginning, but then I stay too long.
Yeah, okay.
Come on. When was the last time you actually, in the beginning, or let's just say this, when was the last time you played roulette and you were in the negative from the start and just went down? It doesn't always, we're always up. We just don't leave. But that's what you got, I think it's very easy if you're strategic. This is my problem because I'll put my life on this. I truly believe I can win $50 a day every day religiously. 100%. I'm not even questioning it because I can do it every time. The difference is it comes so easy and so fast I don't leave. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes I lose. But that's my addiction is because I know I can go any day of the week, bring $1,000, I can win $50. That's my take. And that's my thing. And that's the addiction on that. But do you leave? Like you said, you hit the 50 in a few minutes. Do you leave? I don't. And that's the problem. And once I overcome this, I'm going to be a rich man with my $50 a day every day because you can take an hour break, go back, hit your 50, leave, wait a few hours. No, but I think it's the session that gets you. But again, that's the mentality of a gambler. I'm a complete gambler. I have that addiction disorder.
Yeah. His tolerance is up to, I think, 1,000, maybe 2,000 now. So he's never going to leave it.
No, $2,000-3,000 minimum.
His
and then-
tolerance is up, just like his liquor is.
I can't even gamble. Yeah, I got to take like a year off. But the philosophy in my head is I can win. That game is so easy to win in, but you have to leave.
You are now listening to the mind of a gambler.
Yeah, the mind of a madman right now.
Addicted gambler.
It's like 35 drinks in me. I'm not even buzzed. It's unbelievable. But it is crazy, man.
Well, that's what we think about poker and gambling.
Yeah, it's too exciting, man. Too exciting. I would love for people to comment on our media there and let us know what you do gambling and how you do. And
what's your experience with poker yourself?
Or roulette.
Does this about hit the nail on the head, or have you had a different experience?
Yeah, and absolutely. I would love to hear from other roulette players if they're out there. Do you win? Can you get $50 easily?
Okay.
Roulette's the shit, man.
That shit, all right.
I don't know why everyone's against this game. It's so wonderful.
By the way, roulette is I believe, is the worst odds in every casino.
Unless you're talking to me.
Unless you're talking to Dan. Dan is the reason Vegas is successful.
Possibly. Pretty sure I own like a tile in the bathroom of Caesar's Palace. Yeah. I had my average bet there once for a week. The average spin was over $350. Do you know how on average over like a 7-day period?
Crazy.
Yeah, I was comping everything that time. I did pretty good that week and up and down. Well, the first 4 days I was on fire. The last 2 days I couldn't win a fucking spin. Yeah, but that's how we like it. See what I mean? But nobody wants to stay in Vegas 7 days. Vegas is a 2-night,
especially when you're winning.
No, 2 nights, win or lose. If you're losing big, you want out, and if you're winning, you want out. You want to go home with some winnings. Oh man.
Okay.
Woo! What I would like to tell you about that trip. It's amazing.
Speaking of trips.
Yes.
I take photos on my phone all the time of everything.
Why?
Trips and stuff like that. I've got thousands and thousands of photos on my phone.
I do too.
I believe I even have some backed up on some memory stick that I've deleted on my phone to make space. And it's one of those things that I'm a photo hoarder.
I am too.
I don't think I'll ever get back to the old photos I've taken 3-4 years ago.
But again, this is the new thing.
Space.
I don't really understand how the cloud always tells me my photos are in this whatever.
I actually pay. I need so much space now because I filled up the space I've had. I pay $10 a month to have extra space in the cloud.
No, I'm an idiot on roulette. Huh?
Wow.
The cloud doesn't even exist. What is that? But again, I get this little whatever signal saying they put some portfolio photos together. Do you know when you take a photo, it's saved somewhere all the time?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I don't want my photo saved. I'm taking a picture of my dick. I don't want it in the cloud.
Oh my God.
But what I'm saying is that's like an invasion of privacy.
Oh, that brings me to what do you think?
You know what I'm saying, though?
What do you think about the government listening on our phone calls?
I think it's bullshit. I think it's an invasion of privacy. I think it goes against everything. What the fuck?
See,
right now they're recording us.
See, I don't care. We're not doing anything wrong. If they listen in,
man, now we're in on it.
No,
yeah, you set it up. You set it up. Go on.
Okay, so my take on it is, if you're not doing anything wrong and the government is listening for terrorists, I don't really care. I don't really care.
Invasion of your privacy.
Yeah, who cares if they listen in on how big a shit I took?
Who cares? That's like the government knocking down the door to snoop through our house and then what? We didn't do anything wrong, but should that give them the right to come in our house and look at my shit? Well, I didn't do anything wrong, so should we care if they enter the door?
I guess that's the point of at what point does the invasion of privacy and the law limit? Where are the limits?
That's the thing. I mean, your Alexa and all these little bitches on Amazon, they're listening to everything we do.
Everything online, everything we do digitally. I guarantee
there's a footprint everywhere.
It's in a database somewhere
in the cloud. And I don't like the fact that every picture I take, every snap thing, or whatever, it's somewhere already.
I think it's a little different than them physically coming to your house.
Well,
and going inside.
that's the difference. How we feel is it's the same thing. Whether they physically come through the door and snoop through my stuff, or they're doing it now digitally, snooping through my stuff. Whatever we're recording or talking, it's the same principle. It's an invasion of privacy. So if they're not allowed to just knock down the door and start going through my drawers or my bins, my garage, or my bank account, that's the thing. It's the same principle to me. It's an invasion of privacy, and I think they're overstepping their boundaries. But the fact of the matter is they get away with it because technology, we're a bunch of morons as people. We know there's digital, technology, but we don't know how it operates. You understand a phone, but if I destroyed your phone, you couldn't build a phone. We don't know how it really operates. You dial a number and it goes somewhere and you just connect, right? But the government's listening on everything. They're listening to this podcast.
So I think there's a tolerance again on and limits with people like me. Like I'll go as far as the phone calls and the emails and
to protect the overall well-being of the American people.
Exactly.
All right, I'm not against it. I mean, I talk on phones. I'm not off the grid. I understand, but I have nothing that interests them.
But I will would draw the line on them coming in physically to inside your
Okay,
house.
but it is the same principle.
It is. I agree. I'll agree. It is the same
All right,
principle.
so you see my point of view.
I do.
All right.
But I believe I think it's a little different when it's just the digital.
Because we don't see it happening.
Well, I know it's happening. What is that? Oh, is that the laundry?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well,
We're good.
we're doing laundry, by the way. So
we all got to clean our drawers.
I really feel like that's different.
But it's the same principle.
It is the same principle.
You know,
I'll agree with that.
You
I'll
know,
agree.
there's probably more of the shady side in the digital world.
Well, supposedly they're not really technically doing it anymore.
I think
After Edward Snowden,
I think they're recording everything, but there's too much to do anything. But anytime there's a shooting or something weird, they know everything within hours.
Well,
They know everything.
obviously not, because the shooting still happened.
No, like after the fact. But once they do their investigation, they know exactly everything about an individual. They know their social media, they know their posts, they know everything. And it's like they have all this information, but it's impossible to track 330 million Americans. Everything's being recorded, everything's being downloaded. I take a picture, it's in a cloud somewhere. There's no way to erase it once you do something. They know everything. But if you're not hiding anything, that means, I mean, we really don't care because we're not doing anything illegal.
Right.
However, people off the grid, they want to get off the grid because maybe they want to do something illegal and they got to be away. But you're being recorded everywhere you go. You know, everything is being recorded.
Sure.
This conversation, even though it's being recorded.
I'm sure it's piled
YouTube
into
through
a
whatever
database.
the database is.
Sure.
They're recording everything and they're sending it, and there's no red flags of stuff, or maybe somebody has to monitor and go, all right, these two imbeciles just talking about nothing. But if we were talking about a plan to overthrow something, yeah, we'd have the authorities at our door right now.
You
as
just
we're
put us on
talking.
the list by saying that.
Exactly.
Well, that is our time. everyone.
So frustrating.
too bad. Hopefully you learned something new. Maybe we connected with some of you at some level, or you were just plain entertained. And we want to thank everyone for listening. Remember, always be grateful. Think of the things you have in life and don't obsess about what you don't have. Keep looking forward and always strive to be better than you were yesterday.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's
Yes. Thank you for tuning in. Always be kind to all. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, everyone.
Take care, guys.